What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Permission to Shine podcast. It's Andrew Nemani, your host, who is very lucky to highlight the most humble, inspiring people from across the world. I just got done re-listening to the episode with the global CEO of Barry's Bootcamp, Joey Gonzalez. And I've been feeling a lot of pressure. And I feel like at times I've had to say no, and I've had to let people down. And I hate that because I think at my core, I'm a bit of a people pleaser. And so I was super curious to ask Joey, how does he balance his insanely busy life? And his answer was simply, Andrew, I wake up every morning and I have to decide, who am I going to disappoint today? To me, it kind of like gave a weight off of my shoulders. And I was like, all right, at some point in your life, you're just going to start disappointing some people and you're going to have to decide who that is. So if you're in that similar position, I hope that advice helps you. Let's get to today's guest. A one-of-a-kind, insane story. Unless you've seen the movie Red Sparrow, you've likely never heard something like this before. Aliia Roza is a former Russian spy specifically trained on seduction. Her father and her grandfather were top generals in the KGB, so they recruited her from a very young age. She got in, she hated it, she was very fortunate to escape. She now lives in America where she runs a seduction agency. She shares the things that she learned. She has over 1 million followers on Instagram. She's amassed this insane following. And in our episode today, she's going to walk us through what it was like to go through that experience. And I think more importantly for you guys, she's going to be sharing a lot of the techniques and tricks that she learned in her training. Things that will relate, one, to romantic partners, to dating, to sex life. And also what I found to be interesting is how can we use this in our professional settings and interviews to win over sales clients, etc. So I hope you enjoy this conversation. It was mind-blowing. Aliia, thank you for trusting me to come on to Permission to Shine. Listeners, if you've got feedback, I love hearing from you. We've been getting a ton of listener emails, so roll them in, andrew@permissiontoshine.org. I love you guys for being here. Please enjoy this conversation with Aliia Roza.
How was your day so far?
How was my day in traffic? My day was started from the traffic.
I think you were trained to drive. I've seen you drive a couple times now. I'm like, wait, what? Where did you learn how to do that?
Well, you know what was my training, right?
You driving was a part of that, huh?
Yeah, we actually did extreme driving, so I'm really good with manual cars as well. I drove all sort of cars, tanks as well, and as a second pilot, the military jet.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't even know how to drive a manual car.
No way.
Let alone a freaking tank or a
American generation.
Literally, I grew up in Iowa too. You think that I blame my mom and dad. I need to take accountability for my actions though, don't I?
Well, you can still learn, I guess.
Will you teach me?
No.
You're not a good teacher? You're just a student?
No, I don't want to teach you that. I said to you, I don't teach men.
Aliia, how would you classify your job in Russia?
In America, if you compare DAA, so it's a special department stopping drug and human trafficking, mostly drug trafficking, right? So that's exactly what I was doing in Russia 20 years ago.
What do they call that? Is there a title?
Yes, it's part of FSB, which is former KGB. That special department was founded by Mr. Putin and then dissolved a few years later. But it was founded particularly for stopping drugs coming from Afghanistan. FSKN. So I was signed in as an agent working on that criminal department.
I'm guessing that's not a job that you find on LinkedIn.
Not at all. You need to get the special training first.
How did you end up in that?
Well, I share it in the main podcast to Die For. I hope you will listen to it one day when you will have time.
It's great. You have to listen to it with Neil Strauss. He's a legend. You guys did a great job. Congratulations on it.
Thank you. Oh my God, if you will open right now, oh yeah, I told you this, but I'm so excited. It's second day we are in the top browsing chart in Apple Podcasts.
Let's see if
this
I can get
is
it on the camera.
Huge.
It's on. You open the browse on Apple Podcasts. It's right on the top.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's amazing.
Now, honestly, Tenderfoot TV, they really did a great job and they're still doing it, promoting it and just distributing it. And Neil I don't know, I'm very grateful. First of all, he gave me the safe space. First time in my life I could share all details, all traumas which I had. And I actually didn't accept that. I lived like being a numb person. So I didn't accept my past, and I just decided to store that past in, somewhere far away from like that, like I just closed the door and I never wanted to open it. And a lot of people do that actually. When we have trauma, we just block that memories, and we don't understand that we run from our past. And then eventually now I open up, I share the whole truth, which was not pleasant, and I'm very embarrassed for a lot of things.
It's intense.
It is intense to share publicly all intimate details, especially, sexual activities, sexual abuse, rape. That was really hard for me.
And I wanted to reach through the microphone, or the headset, and give you a hug.
Thank you.
It's like the least.
Thank you. But you know what? I understood something by sharing this story. I have received so many messages from so many women in Instagram where they said well, I was sex trafficked myself. I was abused. I was raped. I went to suicide. I don't know what to do. I'm completely lonely. There's so many messages with pain, and I feel this pain. I just almost, it's like me in the past, and they all come to me right now and they tell well, we see who you are right now. It's impressive transformation, and I'm very grateful for that. But it's a hard work. But at the same time, I decided to open up as main reason. I understood why I was basically doing that is because I wanted some forgiveness, not just from myself, but from listeners as well. I had a lot of pain, and I still do, a lot of trauma and a lot of, these unaccepted events in my life where I just prefer to forget, just kind of erase it. But you can live like this. You have to heal it. You have to go through that. And it's a really hard, painful journey. And I'm happy that Neil Strauss and my therapist as well gave me that support, and I could go through this transformation and be who I am right now.
Amen. Well,
Amen.
Congratulations on doing it. I think that the truth sets you free, and I'm sure that was quite heavy to carry by yourself. And so I think just kind of getting it out into the universe probably sets you free in a lot of ways.
Well, yes, actually, that's what we discussed with Neil, because the last episode is coming next week. And my main goal all my life was to have my freedom. And I will not spoil it for you guys, but for so long time, I was seeking for freedom. I wanted my freedom. I wanted to be free. But then eventually I understood that we cannot be completely free. We still depend from a lot of things in our life, right? From a lot of people. But having freedom of speech, having freedom of choosing something, this is important. And having the choice to choose your life the way you want it to live, that's so important. And I think that everyone who live in this planet should pursue this dream to live the life they want to live. That's why we're here for.
Was it a choice of yours to become an agent in Russia, or were you forced into it?
Well, I would say I was almost forced. Well, almost I was forced by my dad, and a lot of people can relate to that. When our parents, they want us to be someone, right? And they kind of push us. When I told my dad that I want to work in fashion, I want to do fashionable things, creative things, he said, well, what is fashion? You have one skirt, one shoes, that's enough. That's fashion, And so
wow, so cold-hearted.
He's very strict, very.
Oh, I would not do well with that.
And yeah, and he's he was a high-ranking officer, and my grandfather was a national hero fighting Nazi during Second War. So his monument in one of the biggest in Russia, in Stalingrad, actually, with his name written on it.
Your grandpa?
My grandpa.
Wow.
So
what's his name?
I will not tell you.
Why?
I can't tell you this information.
Why?
I'm sorry. I will explain why. First of all, for my parents' security, they still live in Russia. So you know what's happening with the Ukrainian war. And people in Russia, they are not allowed to talk about anything, regarding government, Putin regime, or whatever. Like, if you will speak out, they would put you to jail, and that's it. You'll be like finished. And the story about Yulia Navalny, the widow of Navalny, who was almost killed. I do believe he was killed in the jail a few months ago. And now she has been arrested by the Russian government, yet she is in Berlin living there with her kids. I mean, how crazy is that? So it means that she cannot travel back to see her mom, to see her parents. Like, I cannot do it the same way. Like, I cannot go back to Russia just because I stand against the war in Ukraine. And actually from that moment, everything started. So I opened up my story because I just couldn't see all these innocent people dying. And I said, like, listen, if I won't do that who will? Navalny tried to do it, but then he was sent to jail, and then eventually he died. His widow, I mean, it's horrible. Like, you don't have any right to say, your opinion. So, but you are when you live in this kind of countries, you're so brainwashed by the system that you just don't see another options in your life. Coming back to that question, how did I become an agent? My dad just brought me to the department, the first department. It was criminal investigation department, and that's it. Like, I just came there, and they sent me up. They sent me to the military academy where everybody have to go through the training. And I didn't have any other choice. And that time I couldn't say no. And stand for your no is so important, because when you actually say no, if you don't want to do it, this no can lead you to another option in your life where you can actually do what you want.
Meaning to your superpower.
It is. To be able to say no in the right time, it is a superpower, and you need to learn how to do it.
If you could go back, would you say no?
Absolutely, yes.
You would?
I would say no, or I would probably just, I hope like my son wouldn't listen to it, but like I never pressed him to do whatever he doesn't want to do. But I'd rather run away from my house and like do something else, or like find a way to get out from the country.
Why? Because it wasn't an enjoyable job?
Well, you need to listen to the podcast to die for.
I've listened to it, but probably a lot of my listeners haven't yet.
Well, I hope they will, and they will understand that the profession being a spy, an agent, is very romanticized in movies and in books. And, James Bond movies, so cool.
He's the best.
I know.
The suits. I mean, come on.
Come on. You see?
The girls.
That's it.
James is the man. But a very sad man, right? He seems depressed. Has he ever actually been in love,
Question 1. Question 2, he's always lonely. Question 3, he had so many traumas in his life that, does he even like have anything to hold him in this life? Because he's always risking his life. Does he have happiness?
I don't know. I was lonely having dinner by myself last night. I can't imagine how he feels.
Well, and also he was not free. It's the feeling that you don't belong yourself at all. Any moment they call you.
You felt owned.
Of course. I felt like I don't belong myself. And that time I couldn't understand that. So it's literally like you sleep, you receive a call, you need to like dress up in like really short time and come to a department or like go to do your mission, knowing that you may not come back. How is this feeling?
Because they were so dangerous?
Of course. I mean, like, it could be anything. Yes, it's like in the movie, you go to the mission, but James Bond always survives. Apart from the last movie. But anyway.
Spoiler alert, that sucked. That was the worst.
Well, let's see. I think like they will bring him to life with another actor, but I did like Daniel Craig and James Bond. But anyway, coming back to the reality, people don't really understand this profession because spy, they never talk. And how many spies really do we know who really open up about their profession and really spoke out? I mean, especially female.
Why are you deciding to speak up about it?
Number 1 is to ask for forgiveness because this pain, I just couldn't hold it anymore. And number 2, when Putin invaded Ukraine, and a lot of my friends who are half Ukrainian, half Russian, my uncle who was from Kazakhstan. I'm Kazakhstanian, like, and he was a doctor and he was just killed by the bomb while he was helping people,
I'm sorry,
soldiers. No, but like, I mean, these laws for what? Like, if you will go deeper, I don't want to be too political, but you do understand all the wars. It's a huge setup for and manipulation for all the society to cover like things up while they just launder money between themselves. I mean, like, it's so easy, but unfortunately people just don't realize that, and then you just like take someone's side. Oh, Ukraine is right, or like Russia is right. There are no right people, or not, like, they're not right or wrong sides. It's always bad for innocent people. I mean, like, not just Ukrainian people dying. There's so many like, soldiers who just from Russia, from like, nobody speaks about that, unfortunately. And it's really bad. What's happening in Israel right now? I mean, like, we live in the world with wars, and wars never stopped, actually.
They never have.
And
they're always going.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And as a mother, I would love to do everything to give my son in the future a safe space, a safe environment.
Can you kind of paint the picture of like what a potential mission might look like? I'm so curious.
Well, I will, but for your listeners, I would put like a special note, a special warning, because mostly of my missions were with a sexual purpose.
Seduction.
Well, sex espionage actually, it's a special program which I was enrolled when I came to the department and to the academy and then to the department. It's basically when, as an agent, like sort of Red Sparrow, you have your target. My targets mostly were criminals. And you have to seduce your target either for the termination. So it would be like, okay, I got the target. I, start some sexual activities with this target, and then either myself, either my member of my team would terminate the target. That's one option. Option number two, where as an agent, I would have to establish a long-term relationship with the target in order to get information or make him my informer, or do sort of stable relationship where I could get more information without him knowing and understanding this unconsciously, basically, or he would give it to me with his, willing.
Would you ever get attached to these targets emotionally?
I would say, even with my last target, Vladimir, who was, I would say, whom I did respect him and I liked him as a man, but understanding, I mean, like, I was very young. I was like 21 at the time, and I couldn't really realize, was it love or was it not? But I would say now, after so many years, being more wise, it wasn't love. I wasn't attached, and it was emotional bond, because we were very similar in our vision and our goals, but definitely it wasn't love. And as a James Bond, I've never been in love.
Wow.
I hope I will one day. I'm working on it, but you know what? This early morning I had a session with my therapist. I actually have like every week 2 therapists. I don't know if I will be able to experience this feeling, to be honest.
I hope you can find that.
Maybe not.
There's still so much time.
Maybe when I will be 70.
Don't give up hope.
No, I really give up.
You gave up.
I give up. I think I give up because, like,
Wasn't that what they say? You find love when you're not looking for it, huh? So as a former Russian agent,
yeah,
you must have learned seduction tactics. What are the top ones? We gotta know.
Why are you so curious about
Come on.
that? Why?
The people want to know.
Why do they want to know?
Because I think everyone's looking for love. I think people are looking to win people over.
Uh-huh.
I'm really curious romantically and then also professionally.
Are you in a relationship?
I'm not in a relationship right now.
Why not?
So I'm in the dating scene.
Okay, you're in a dating scene.
I'm
In Los Angeles.
I'm in the dating scene. Los Angeles, New York, London. Those are the
Good luck
cities.
to you.
I think London's the best city to date in.
I used to live in London for 6 years. I don't know, like, my dating life wasn't that amazing there either.
You didn't think so?
You know what, like, I don't date. Like, I don't go on dates. I don't date. I don't like really go out and all that. If I go out, it's strictly for my business purposes. And I'm just not looking for any sort of like, this kind of relationship. But
Are you good at avoiding questions?
uh,
Are you good at avoiding questions?
sort of.
Don't avoid my question. We want to know seduction tactics.
Okay, there's so many tactics. Because, okay, in your opinion, seduction, okay, is it love or manipulation?
It's manipulation.
See, and you said like everybody looking for love. So it's different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I think I have a hard time with that because I'm somebody who's always wanting to learn like new tools and ways of like connecting with people and bringing out the best in people. And then it is like, as I've gotten smarter and as I've evolved, it's like, where is that line between just being authentic with myself to build authentic relationships, but also using tools that I've learned to like
Why?
bring the best out of people?
Why do you want to do this?
Why do I want to use tools?
Hmm?
Because I want the most out of life. I want to bring out the best in people.
For these people you're dating or for yourself?
Mostly, I do believe in bringing out the best in people and advancing society forward in like a very positive way.
Mm.
So while it could seem selfish, like, oh, this is my agenda, I do feel like I have people's best interest. It's like, I'm not trying to win over this girl because I want her just to like me, to feed my ego.
Mhm.
It's like, if I'm going to use tools to win over a girl, like buying her flowers and giving her compliments and picking her up and holding the door open, it's because like I want to be her. Did you say that's it? No, that's not. I mean, come on. What else do I need to do?
See, here you go. Oh my God. It will take
come on,
like
come on,
a
we're
lot of
Hollywood.
hours.
Let's go. Come on.
A lot of hours to teach men actually how to conquer a woman.
Well, again, and I'm not trying to win her over for my ego. I'm trying to win her over to be my partner because I feel like her and I belong together, right? It's like, we'll be better
Okay.
together.
Do you speak authentically with her about that?
Of course. I can
Like-
only speak from my heart.
Okay.
I don't know how to do it.
So why are you still single then?
Because I haven't found somebody that's my match.
Listen, it's not about like the match. It's about you attract who you are. So what you are, right, inside of you, it's what you bring to this world, right? And seduction, if you go into seduction, I will explain you said like, and it's great what you mentioned right now, because it's exactly what people unfortunately not always understand, the difference between seduction and love, and where is this, where actually it ends and where is the beginning of love. And seduction basically, right, it starts from loving yourself. In the academy, they used to tell us, if you want to seduce anyone, you have to seduce yourself first. And we don't really understand that. And it took me years to raise the self-love and self-esteem and self-confidence. What you see right now, I wasn't like this before. We never born with all these skills, charisma and the art of communication. It's all our skills. And of course, you can learn it.
It's tools that you've learned.
Exactly. So seduction, some people think this is manipulation. For me, seduction, first of all, it's an art. You can craft it. You can learn how to do it. And as you said, seduction can be used for good and for bad. For good, as you said, you can inspire people, support them, and bring the best out of them, right? To impact the society in a better way, which is amazing. And that's exactly what I teach to my students, female. And that's exactly how I explain them. And I never give them a very dark, I would say, manipulative techniques, because as a coach, I feel responsibility because I know all these really bad techniques. And sometimes I even without my unconsciously, I sometimes when I am with a partner, I can do certain things without even understanding. And then I realize, I go back and I say, I'm so sorry. Without my, understanding, I just did this and this and I didn't want to do it. So I became more authentic rather than just do it and like live this life. Because seduction is almost like, it's just installed inside of me, into my DNA sort of. And this is my lifestyle. This is the way I live, operate, do my business, and communicate with people. But yes, if you use seduction techniques for good, first of all, you become a superhuman yourself. You can make anyone like you. You can make anyone to open up to you. You can make anyone to trust you. You feel about yourself the best. You are the most confident. You feel happy, like really happy. It's just amazing feeling when you are confident and you know that everything, wherever you want, will happen in the best scenario in your life.
And you said rule number one to seduction is loving yourself. I think that's so beautiful. I feel like we all struggle with that though,
Yes.
right? Even the most confident of us, we still
Yeah.
struggle with that. How have you found the ability to do that, or what advice do you give to people?
I would say how I would find I you know what, I cannot say how did I find it, because like of course I was trained from 18 years old, right? But I would give you one important technique which will help anyone. This is exactly the technique I give to my students, which is every morning when we wake up and our brain is still sort of like kind of like very open, and we still like, sort of between our dream and reality. That's the time when you can program your brain and you can put a lot of anchors into your brain with words, the auditional anchors. What does it mean? If you, and a lot of people speak about it right now, which is amazing, because as former secret agent, I used to study the psychology and I understand how does it work, but really it does this way. When you tell yourself, I'm the best, I'm worthy, today would be the best day in my life, and every day you say the same. And I'm so happy, I'm blessed, and I'm grateful, and grateful for wherever you have right now. You woke up, you feel healthy, you're alive, you have had 2 hands, 2 legs. You have a house where you wake up. Even like, even homeless on streets, like they still have houses. I just drove by and I saw like all these like little tents, and like this is their this is their home. This is the life they choose. I respect that. This is their choice. And understanding these simple things and be grateful for that, this is the most powerful thing, because you increase your vibrations, and that's the vibration you go out to this world and you share this, aura, this energy with others, and that's how you attract these people. That's why misery attracts misery, and opposite, the happiness attracts happiness.
Law of attraction.
Yeah, of course. And then to make it sort of like stronger, what I do, and I do it for all my life, for like, for the last 20 years, I've studied that. Really great technique when you actually write. But if you like right-handed, like it's better to write with left and opposite. It's really hard, but it works really good. So every day you should write who you are in the present and what you want to achieve in the present. So for example, I don't know, something this simple. I want to have like, I don't know, Toyota car. And instead of I want to have it, you say like, I have it already. And it's so beautiful. Yes. But when you actually draw it, when you actually write it and you put this sticker on the wall where, for example, you look at the most, or maybe in your bathroom and you brush your teeth and you look at this, you sort of like also like program yourself. And this is amazing. And mirror, same story. You look at your reflection and you tell the same to yourself.
That. I give myself a high five in the mirror.
Yeah, great.
It's actually powerful. I felt so silly at first, but it's actually worked quite well.
It's working. And another one, if you do something, even you send an email, your business email, or maybe you had, a good meeting. It's also silly, but it also works when you just like, brush your hat and say, well done, good girl, or like, good boy, well done, you did it, well done. So
being kind to yourself.
Yes, praise yourself for little things as well, because our, psychology also, everyone's is traumatized, and we always criticizing ourselves for like not doing or doing this and that. but actually giving yourself this compliment and say, well done, because that's sometimes what we're missing when we are kids. Because usually parents, when they don't know, they criticize their kids. They say like, oh, you like did this wrong, did this, instead of like, okay, this is not the right way, let me show you, but you did it great, you did try, like this is your first time, you're doing it, well done, let me show you how you can improve it, but it's also hard work to be a parent. So
be kinder to yourself.
of course, that's where your self-love become. Well, I have a lot of stronger sexual techniques, but we are limited with time. And let me promote myself here right now. I have all the techniques in my website. Okay. So no, but
what's
seriously,
your website?
Rosaclub.com.
Roza Club?
Yeah. Or todieforspy.com.
todieforspy.com.
Yeah. So it's just like, honestly, there's so many techniques that
what about we were talking about, I think life is so much better when you can just connect with people, when there's no borders, no barriers.
Yes.
The amount of shit that's happened in my life because I approached somebody and had a conversation with somebody is amazing. But it's like very nerve-wracking to approach somebody that you don't know, right? So how often have we seen somebody been like, man, I would love to talk to them, but I'm just too nervous to do it. And I'm curious if you have any advice or thoughts on the cold approach.
In a romantic way?
Yes.
Okay.
Or anyway, but like probably romantic, yeah.
Okay, so you see a woman or a man, doesn't matter. So you see a target, let's say.
Target?
A target.
Dang.
You see your target.
No, I see my next date. Maybe my wife, she could be my wife. I want to find out.
It's a target, right?
All right, target.
Okay, target. Let's speak my language now.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
she draws the microphone closer.
Now we talk about how to get your target. All right, without any jokes. So you see your target. And of course, the first question is, how do I approach my target, right? What do I say? With men, it works a little bit different. With women, different. I will explain why. Men would never come to a woman who doesn't give signals like gaze, a certain look, certain body language, right? If a woman doesn't do it, then men most likely will not come up and talk to her.
So a woman has to give a signal?
Always. If she likes the man. She may be kind of like busy or wherever. And then if she's too busy or something, then you can kind of like get her attention by...
Just give us a little sign. That's all we need.
Okay, if you're talking about man perspective, right? So the what you can do, if you want her to look at you, right? You can drop something on the floor. Like, so you have to do a movement which will, or like laugh, or like start to speak with the waiter if you're in the restaurant more loud. Or if she's like still like kind of like ignoring, send her a bloody drink. I mean, it's so easy, guys. Come on. Send her a drink, coffee, I don't know, glass of champagne, wherever. It's always a nice gesture. I don't understand why men really kind of like forgetting these things. I mean, it doesn't cost much, but it's actually, if you really want this woman, why don't you do a nice gesture? Because for female is also the same way. If she sees a nice guy, why can't she like just send a cup of coffee to him and say like, like just enjoy the coffee, like it's like good morning, like good afternoon, or whatever. Everybody drinks coffee. Okay, tea, water, I don't know, whatever. It's not necessarily alcohol.
I'm gonna send a girl a water.
I mean, what? You're always like,
how much
hydrate.
I want, Aliia.
Thanks, exactly. Andrew.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers to that. Yeah, so these little gestures always help. Then, female, right, to get his attention. It's much easier for a woman, honestly, because no man would reject a woman. And women kind of like don't understand this. Like they're almost like they're sitting there and waiting. Whereas like, honestly, it's only in your hands. Just come to the guy and say, hey, how are you? Like, I like your black shorts, so cool on you. Look at you, like you're really fit, you're handsome, you're tall. Like, let's catch up. Like, let's meet each other. I mean, that's it. You
it's
give
so
a little,
easy.
It is very easy. Just give a couple compliments and you start the conversation. It's a communication. It's normal. No man would say no to that, you know. Or if he's married or like he has a girlfriend, he can say like, well, thank you so much. I'm going to see my girlfriend, or my girlfriend is coming right now. Like he can mention it in a nice way as well. So like it's, you know,
Amicable.
it's normal.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like we're all human beings. And like, I think like we should put down all these insecurities, which are starting from self-love, number one. And then you can go to the world and meet other people in a very simple way. Of course, there are like more like, you know, more techniques. Like one of the really great, and it's very understandable, pretend that you know this person, like, oh, hey star, what's up, like, how are you, like, or you can say like, oh, hi, long time no see, like, what's happening, you look amazing, you're so awesome, like, how is this, how is that, da, da, da. You go like through like some like conversation, you speak about yourself, so you kind of like open up, like you, oh, like I just finished my project with this and that, oh, like I just moved here and there, oh, I just traveled and I came back from blah blah blah. And then she would, or he would probably like stand and stare at you and like analyze and also estimate, like, okay, do I like him, do I like her, do I, oh, I don't, what would I like something with this person, like would I like to meet this person? And then you will see from the body language, if yes, then you can move further. And she would say, oh, like I'm actually not Sarah, but like, you know, but I like you. You know,
People already have their mind made up if they want to connect with you or not.
2
I think.
seconds.
Like it's so.
It takes 2 seconds.
I don't even think it matters what you say. I think it just matters that you get the confidence to show up and say
That's the
hi.
whole thing. You start from self-love, self-confidence,
Exactly.
and then you go to the world.
And I don't want to
introduce yourself.
I don't want to walk up and say like, I used to be like, hey, what's your name? That would be my opening line. Now I think that I'm more of a confident person. I'd say what my name is. I'd say, hi, I'm Andrew. And I think they are attracted to that.
Start from compliment.
You think compliment first?
Yeah. Hey,
Like a neg
I
or
love
like a
your
real compliment?
whoever. Like, you know, women always pay attention so much to their outfits, to their, you know, hairstyle,
But it can't be
like
something.
manicure,
If somebody came up to
or
me and was
whatever.
like, hey, I find you really attractive.
No,
I'd be like,
no,
that's
absolutely no. You say,
I'm more than a piece
oh
of
my
meat,
god,
Aliia.
oh my god, I love your manicure, so cool. Like, I don't know, like, oh my god, I love your, like, I love your dress. Or like, I'm looking for my sister has a birthday. I'm like thinking what to buy. Like, if you, and she's your age, like what would you like? What's your favorite, like, you know, brand or
I
something
love
like
that.
this?
Then it shows I care about my sister, which I do.
No, but seriously, this is like what, this is another pickup line for men as well. Like, oh, I'm looking for a present for my brother. He's about your age, your height. Like, what's your, you know, what's your like, what do you think? Like, this tie will go good with this shirt or like not, whatever. But you can kind of like start with advice, asking for advice. People always love it when you ask for advice, especially from men, and you're complimenting.
Ask advice, compliment.
Compliments. It's the
That's how
most
you win over
powerful
people that you want
things.
to date.
Well, this is the beginning of techniques. Yes.
What are other techniques that I could use to win people over? Maybe it's like if I'm in a sales conversation at work or I'm trying to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any general things that you find work really well to win
Very
people over?
similar. Compliments on, not the outfits, of course, in this case, on the you know, on the job work experience. Oh, I heard so much about you. You've done this project so well. Oh, I read your article on this and that. Oh, I did the research on your like latest like lecture, blah, blah, blah. So you're complimenting the professionalism and the skills. And then, oh, this person actually invested his time reading my book, my article. You know, before meeting Neil, I actually read his books much prior, and
Not many females have read those books.
well, I had a special meeting with him, and this is number one. And of course, I wanted to,
Very controversial.
not all.
His books are
Okay, which one exactly?
The Game.
The game. Oh, well, I knew that you would tell the game, of course.
I haven't read it yet. Don't come shoot.
You should read that. Pickup technique. That good.
I have so many guys in my life that have read it, but will not tell anybody they've read it. I think that's hilarious. I need to read it to
Really?
find out why. I can't speak
Well,
intelligently on it.
you
yet.
know, we spoke with Neil about a lot of seduction techniques, and he said, well, a lot techniques which, you know, I haven't heard from the intelligence, you know, service, but a lot he found very familiar. And of course, I'm talking about the body language, mirroring, copying, you know, gestures and all that. So this is-
Gestures just being like, hold the door open for you. get you a water, open you a water?
Yes, as a man, but also the way you sit. For example, now you're sitting with the open position, but you're facing that direction, which is not mine. I'm facing towards your direction. You see, like my legs facing your direction, which means if you would be on a date, I'm kind of like giving you the body language that I'm interested. You know, I'm open. Women do a very big mistake. I always tell like, don't put back like on your knees. This is like a closing position for men. This is the closing position.
Don't cross your arms.
No, don't cross your arms, and obviously legs. But for women it's different. So these sort of gestures, like when copying. So for example, if I would sit like you for, I have sofa, but anyway, if I would like do certain things like you do for like right after certain time,
you'd copy me.
I copy you, and then if I would connect you and I
hate when
would
people copy me. I'm like, I see you doing that. Like, stop copying.
So then it's probably they're not doing this in a professional way. So if it's a nice copying, then you would, I just took my bottle of water, you did the same. So you are connected with me. But okay, we are in a podcast right now, right? If I would want to, I would do it very subtly, so you wouldn't even notice that. But also like eyes, like the way you look at your target or wherever.
This is great. I love this. So obviously you've come out, and obviously the Russian government is a very serious organization that goes after people who go against them. Do you ever fear for your life, Aliia?
Always. And it's normal. We're all human beings, and we all have fears, and I don't know what will happen with my life, but I'm prepared. I would say like this.
What's your goal, or what advice do you have for people out there?
Everything I do, from in the past protecting civilians, especially working in the Department of Sex Trafficking and saving those underage kids who were trafficked for sex slavery, till now, I want to hopefully this year found my charitable foundation, and I have amazing friends who will support this, and bring to the world and send the message that despite to any traumas you've been through, you can still create the best future for yourself with the light from your heart, with love. And I know it's just, sound too like big or whatever, but it's honestly depend from this love. You have to have the love inside of you, and then be able to share this love to others. And I'm coming from this position. I genuinely love people, anyone, and the whole universe. And you can feel it.
Yeah, I can. Well, thank you for trusting me, and thank you for sharing your love with Permission to Shine.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the good advice. I hope we help some people. If you're scared of approaching, use this advice and go get yourself a date.
And also use self-confidence and self-love techniques in the beginning of the day.
Okay. I love that. Thank you so much, Aliia.
Thank you.